Okay, folks, this is a story about a child, and that's why I have to be very careful about what I say, and that is why you are not going to be hearing me say anything that's too controversial, okay? Anyway, this story kind of connects to Elvis in Seattle, but it mainly connects to my other prediction of Trump getting his head wound on August 4th.
The 12-year-old outfielder suffering a severe head injury earlier this week, falling from a bunk bed at the Little League International Complex in Pennsylvania, needing emergency surgery.
It was a rapidly progressive epidural hematoma, and it was exerting an enormous amount of pressure on his brain. So he was deeply comatose. Really, his life was in danger when he arrived here.
His doctors saying Easton is moving full speed towards recovery.
Oh, boy, East. He's like, can I get a 44 ounce?
Just small little miracles each day that we're so grateful for.
Easton missed Friday's opening game, but his little brother Brogan stepping in for him on the field.
I'm excited to play on the team, and I'm excited to just play for my brother.
Teammate giving him the nickname Little T, even received.
So, look at the one eye right there. So this is the little kid that got hurt, and how did he get hurt? He's a little leaguer in critical condition. There's your CC, and he was in the ICU, by the way, and ICU equals 33. You know, the CC is the 33, get it? Anyway, he fell out of a bunk bed, and you know a bunk bed is like a twin. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because Elvis and Trump are you understand, like the twin connection? There's certain things I can't say, folks. That's why I'm being very careful. But anyway, bunk bed is about a twin. And he fell from the top bunk and hit his head. He got a head wound. Okay? Like a fallen angel. He fell. Anyway, look at the name. See, you got a skull and brain bleeding. Suffered a fractured skull. His name is Easton Oliver's son. So he's got the son. And by the way, you can make the name Elvis if you add the S with the EVIL. ELVIS is Elvis. And SEAT is the first four letters of Seattle. And you have TON for Washington. And you know East sounds like a certain word if you add the B, BEAST. And look, it's a Utah team. The kid was on the team called Utah, and this was Utah's first time going to the Little League World Series. The very first time, this team Utah. And why is this so important? Because remember, this kid got the head wound, okay? And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th next year. Utah is the 45th state. You see that? And Trump is the 45th president. Do you see what I'm saying? And the word Utah, see the word Utah? It equals 50, 14, 58, 22 in gematria. 50, 14, 58, 22. It equals the exact same as the word June. June equals 50, 14, 58, 22. Okay? And why is that important? Because Donald Trump is born in the month of June. And I told you on June 11th is when Seattle gets struck. You know, which is close to what Trump's birthday is, which is June 14th, 3 days before. Okay, so I told you, it all connects to each other. All my, and just like Bush equals June. And George Bush was the president during 9/11. And the next 9/11 is in Seattle on 6/11. But Trump is going to get his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. And he survives the head wound. Anyway, like I said, it was a bunk bed fall, which has to do with twins, and it's Utah, and it's a fractured skull. Do you get it? I mean, it's all about, and he survived. You understand? And he plays on the Utah team. And that's an interesting logo for the World Series Little League. That hat, I believe that's for the World Series logo for the Little League teams.
This morning, Little Leaguer Easton Oliverson's family telling ABC News their son is showing signs of improvement. The 12-year-old outfielder was in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series when he fell from his bunk bed and fractured his skull.
Easton was on the...
So I guess this was him at that at-bat right there where they just showed him hitting him.
12-year-old outfielder was in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Oh, he didn't
for the
hit the
Little League
ball,
World
but that's
Series when he
supposedly
fell
him
from
right
his
there. And
bunk
look,
bed and fractured his skull.
did you see that number right there? Look at that. It's the 33 right there.
He fell from his bunk.
Anyway, folks, like I said, it's not easy doing these videos when you have to be super careful about what you say, you know. And what's interesting is that he's wearing the number 50 here, because it looks like his name in the back, but it's hard to tell what it says. But it did look like him right before they showed it. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's not him. But the fact that he's wearing a 50 is interesting because his other number is more recent number, I guess. So here's another view of him. See, it is a 50, 50, and there's a reason why I'm showing you. See his name, O-L-I, so this is a number 50 he wears on his Utah team. But here, they're celebrating him as the number 16, okay? And why am I showing that? Because 50 plus 16 equals 66. There's like little kids outside screaming. I told you I live in a little apartment. And there's a pool outside, and neighbors are always screaming and yelling outside my window. Anyway, there's some weird noises going on. Anyway, so he was wearing the number 50, and he's also the number 16. 60, 50 plus 16 equals 66. The word twin equals 66. And remember, it was all about bunk beds, and I told you Elvis and Trump are the you-know-what twins. All right, because Elvis's identical twin died at birth. Anyway, Elvis died on the 16th day of the year, August 16th. Elvis died in the 16th state, which is Tennessee. And Lincoln was the first president to be assassinated. He was the 16th president. And the insurrection happened on 1/6. Okay? And Trump is born in the 6th month. Elvis born in the 1st month. You understand all the connections I'm showing you? And look, you got a lightning bolt. And Elvis had that TCB, that's his logo, taking care of business with a lightning bolt. And I told you all about the SEAT for Seattle, the TON for Washington, ELIVS for Elvis. You got the sun. He plays for Utah. Utah's the 45th state. Utah equals June. Trump is born in June. That's when the Seattle event's going to happen, on June 11th. Trump's born in June, like I said, June 14th.
So he was deeply comatose. Really, his life was in danger.
Opening game, but his little brother Brogan stepping in for him on the field.
I'm excited to play on the team, and I'm excited to just play for my brother.
Team.
So his brother took over for him because he couldn't play. Let's look at his little brother's name. So his little brother, his name is Bro, like brother, Brogan. And you remember Joe Rogan being in the news a lot? Rogan. And also Elvis's twin's name, Elvis's twin that died, the identical twin, his middle name was Garon, Garon. And that was Elvis's brother, right? Bro, Garon. And you know my name is Garo, Garo. Okay? I'm just showing you all the coincidences here. And the reason I brought up Joe Rogan is, remember I showed you how he has the picture of Elvis behind him, and he also had Jimi Hendrix, who was right next to him, behind him on his show. And Jimi Hendrix was born in Seattle. You get what I'm saying? That's the reason I was bringing up Rogan. Okay, folks, I'm done with that baseball story, even though there's probably more, but I forgot to show it. But, you know, I saw something on the news the other day. It was like a 5-minute segment on the news, which is a long time for a news story, okay? Look at the headline. Look at that. Picking the perfect headshot. This was, like I said, just, you know, this week. And it was like 5 minutes long. You know, whatever. It was some stupid story about taking the right pictures to get you a job or something. I don't know. Do you understand why I'm showing you that? Because it's got the head shot, because Trump's going to get a head wound. Do you get it? On August 4th. Because, you know, this is August, the month. That's why I'm showing you that. And here's another great coincidence. So this guy's using Trump as an example about something, and listen to the numbers he uses.
Does that make Biden's corruption that less? Like, he only killed 4 guys, where on the other hand, Trump killed 8.
Yeah. Do you hear that? 8-4. Did you see that?
He only killed 4 guys, where on the other hand, Trump killed 8.
So that's another coincidence on TV that I saw. And you remember I did a bunch of videos about Alec Baldwin and how he shot this one woman and another person. I connected it to Trump. And remember, he plays Trump on SNL. Anyway, you got to go watch those videos from way back when it first happened, back in October. But they're bringing it up again, this Alec Baldwin, in the month of August again. Because I told you it's connected to Trump. That's what it's all about. And listen to what this person says right here.
Release that, I think it was a .45 Colt.
So did you hear that? They're saying the gun he used.
Trigger had to be pulled to release that. I think it was a .45 Colt.
So it's a .45 Colt, they said. And I told you that Trump, he's always talking about the Watergate. He's comparing what's happening to him right now with this Mar-a-Lago raid to Watergate. And Nixon was involved in the Watergate, and Nixon was the only president that Elvis visited. And what did Elvis give Nixon when he visited him? A Colt 45. Do you understand how unbelievable this is? Because, and you know, it connects to a president, and Nixon was involved in the Watergate. Water equals Elvis, and the gate is a portal, like. So you're talking about Elvis Gate when you say Watergate. Anyway, it was involving a president, and it's a Colt 45, and Trump is the 45th president, and it's a gun, right? The Colt 45. And remember how I showed you that June equals the same as Utah? Utah and June equal the exact same, 50-14, 58-22. And I told you that Bush equaled 50-14, 58-22. And wouldn't you know it, the word Colt equals 50-14, 58-22. And you remember it's a Colt 45. And Trump is the 45th president. And Utah, that equals the exact same as Colt, is the 45th state. And Trump is the 45th president, folks. Don't you understand what I'm showing you? And June equals Utah, equals Bush, equals Colt. Trump is born in June. And the Elvis Seattle event is going to be in June 11th. And Trump gets his head wound in August 4th. Elvis died in August 16th. And remember, I told you that Alec Baldwin, they're bringing it up again right now in August. And Alec Baldwin played Trump. And he also shot a guy who was born on his birthday, but he lived, the director. But he also shot the woman who died. Okay, and like I said, it all connects. If you want, oh, and by the way, go to my main channel and watch all the videos about Anne Heche, about Alec Baldwin, and about that guy who shot up the FBI office in Ohio. And remember, Anne Heche was born in Ohio, folks. It all connects to each other, okay? And this Anne Heche was connected to Alec Baldwin, too. And remember, Salman Rushdie was stabbed and he survived, recently. This is all recent stuff that I'm talking about. All in August. So here's a different story. Remember this story? About the lightning? So that lightning strike that was near the White House was on August 4th. You see what I'm saying? Because again, it connects to a president, and it was on August 4th. Because, it's a White House. That's why I'm saying president. Because Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th next year. And again, it's connecting to a lightning bolt. And here's the three people who died.
The man's name is 29-year-old Brooks Lambertson, who's a vice president at City National Bank in Los Angeles. In a statement, the bank said, quote, Brooks was an incredible young man and will be remembered for his generosity, kindness, and unwavering positivity. His sudden loss is devastating for all who knew him and his family. Friends and colleagues appreciate the thoughts and prayers that have poured in from around the country. The lightning strike was caught on this Fox camera at 6:49 p.m. Thursday night. The National Weather Service had issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the area between 6:30 and 7:15. In addition to Brooks, an elderly couple from Janesville, Wisconsin, James and Donna Mueller, were also killed by the lightning strike. They were visiting the nation's capital to celebrate their 56th wedding anniversary.
So one of the people that died in that lightning strike was a guy who has the lamb in his name. Look at that. And the sun. You see what I'm saying? And the other two that were killed was this guy, their married couple. Her name was Donna. It's got the Donna in it, like Donald Trump. Remember, this happened on August 4th, the day I'm telling you Trump gets his head wound, which just so happens to be Barack Hussein Obama's birthday. And they also say that Obama, his name translates, his full name or something, translates to lightning from heaven or something. But again, I told you that Obama is the third piece of the puzzle. Elvis and Trump are the real, I don't want to say certain words, folks. They're the real deal. And this girl at that lightning strike on August 4th, she was the only one to survive. The other three died, right? And listen to what they say right here. Hold on, let me forward it back a little bit here.
Amber says her heart actually stopped for a moment.
I do. I died and came back, I think.
You see that? Her heart stopped.
Various degrees of disability. Amber says her heart actually stopped for a moment.
I do. I died and came back, I think.
You see, that's the reference to Trump getting his head wound and coming back. You understand? Because he's going to survive his head wound. And remember, this happened on August 4th. So I think this is going to be the last thing I show you. And again, this was on Good Morning America, which is a big show, And this person is a star on a show called Ted Lasso, which is getting, rave reviews on television. I don't know. I've never seen it. But look at the person's name. Look at that. Juno Temple. And the temple can also be your, your head, your temple, and, on your head. And it's got the June, you see? This is the person's name. And this, this was on August. And look at the time. Look at the time, man, that I said I'd put it on. This is total coincidence right here. 8:40. That I stopped it there. Because it was on for like a few minutes, she was on. It just so happens I stopped it on 8:04. I just saw it right now. Anyway, because I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on 8:04. And I told you June is when Trump is born. And he's going to get a head wound, the temple. you know, and it's got the EL in temple. You see, EL means God. Temp L, El Temp. And do you remember the movie Juno? And this person right here, who was originally known as Ellen Page. Ellen. And Ellen Page became a man named Elliot, you see? And you remember I told you about Elliot. Seattle is in Elliott Bay. And, you know, I was connecting it to the movie E.T. the other day. And I told you E.T. was released on June 11th. And E.T. stands for Elvis Trump. And in the movie E.T., there's a person named Elliot. And remember, folks, I've shown all of these things in years ago. Okay? And the reason I'm bringing that up, because see, June is when Elvis is going to return. And you have the Elliott, because I told you Seattle's in Elliott Bay, the body of water, which connects to the Puget Sound. Elliot, this person with the movie Juno, turns into Elliot. Do you get what I'm saying? This is what Elliot looks like now, star of Juno, who used to be Ellen. Now it's Elliot. Is it? And here is the writer. She wrote the screenplay for Juno. This person. Look at this person's name. Diablo Cody. Diablo means devil in Spanish. Diablo. And Diablo Cody is born on June 14th. And you know who's born on June 14th. That's Donald Trump. You see, and the movie is Juno. Do you get it? And Diablo means devil. Actually, this is the last thing I'm going to show you, because I'm going to go back to what the Alec Baldwin thing. Remember I told you Alec Baldwin played Trump on SNL a lot. And this is the person he killed, who has the Anne Heche vibe. I told you. If you've seen my videos, go and watch it. I made 3 videos about the Anne Heche car accident. And Baldwin, he shot this woman and killed her, right? On the set, an accidental death supposedly. And he also shot the director of the movie that they were filming on the set when he shot that woman. He also shot this person. And when was this guy born? You see? He was born on June 14th, Trump's birthday. And this time, I mean, he survived this one, but the other woman died. But anyway, my point is that he shot a person that's on his birthday. Baldwin, who plays Trump, shoots somebody on Trump's birthday, who had Trump's birthday, and he survived, like Trump's going to survive. Do you understand? All of it's connected. Here's Baldwin playing Trump, you see? Anyway, folks, end of video.